What happens when one of the biggest creative empires in the world sues AI for stealing their signature style? You get a legal battle that might reshape the entire design industry. I'm a graphic designer, and today I'm talking about why Disney suing Midjourney isn't just a legal copyright battle. It might have the power to actually change the future of how we create. For those of you who don't use Midjourney, it's an AI-powered image generator, and it is trained on massive data sets scrapped from the internet, including, allegedly, Disney-owned content. Okay, now let's talk about the most popular prompts that people use when using AI image generators like Midjourney. Things like Mickey Mouse in Studio Ghibli style, or Pixar princess in a dystopian world. These prompts are widely popular for a reason. They are a mashup of familiar characters in unexpected art styles and settings. And the results, honestly, they're very uncanny. Some of these images look really good and actually very polished. And it is so on brand that you would swear that it was produced by Disney themselves. And that is exactly where the issue begins. See, because as far as we know, Midjourney didn't actually upload Disney assets into their system. It wasn't handed a copy of Encanto or a character model sheet of Frozen, but it did learn from the massive amounts of imagery that are available publicly online. Think of things like fan art, promotional stills, screenshots, concept art, stuff that lives on the internet. And whether Disney uploaded those images or not, Midjourney's training process most likely scraped that from the internet. And this was done without explicit permission. So here's the gray area. Midjourney isn't technically using Disney files, but it may have absorbed enough official and unofficial imagery during its training process that it could replicate the style almost perfectly. And that makes AI-generated images feel like it's walking a legal tightrope. It's not a direct copy, but it does lean on Disney's intellectual property heavily. And unfortunately, to the average viewer, that distinction doesn't actually matter to them. It looks like Disney, it feels like Disney, but it wasn't made by Disney. And that has huge implications, not just for copyright law, but how we think about authorship and ownership and style in this age of AI. Okay, and this is where I really get nervous. As a graphic designer who studied, practiced, and paid for software, this lawsuit, it really hits close to home. I've spent years learning how to develop original work with influence. AI tools, while exciting, really blur the lines between reference and ripoff. For this video, I tried out Midjourney. I had to ask myself, is this my design or is it a ripoff of someone else's IP? Disney's case likely hinges on copyright infringement, brand dilution, and unfair competition. If Disney can prove that Midjourney was trained on its IP or encourages prompt styles that mimics them, they might have a serious case. And there are some very similar cases out there, like Getty Images versus Stability AI, or even Sarah Anderson versus AI. There are many others. And here's what really frustrates me as a creative. You can't actually copyright a style, but you can protect a character or brand identity. Disney has always protected its brand very fiercely. This company has a legal team that is just as legendary as its animation. From cracking down on unauthorized Mickey Mouse merch to litigations over theme park knockoffs. Disney doesn't mess around when it comes to intellectual property. So when tools like Midjourney allow users to type in the style of Disney, that's not something that's just creative. It's a legality risk. And here's where things get even blurrier. Because stylistic prompts don't just stop at Disney. People are typing in things like in Studio Ghibli style all the time. I have a whole video on it if you want to go watch that after this. And for a while, it felt like Ghibli and Disney are two very different aesthetics. Ghibli is more hand-drawn and atmospheric aesthetic. It's more rooted in naturalism and quiet moments, whereas Disney is bright, bold, and cinematic. But now it feels like the styles are starting to blur, especially when AI models blend them together with prompts like Mickey Mouse in Studio Ghibli style. It creates a mashup that feels weirdly seamless. And the result isn't just a hybrid, it almost looks official. And that's what makes things so tricky to the viewers. They might not even realize that this image is not affiliated with either studio. And this is where Midjourney gets into really hot water. because it's letting users freely type in the style of Disney. Or Disney Pixar princess in a Blade Runner world. It puts the company in a very precarious position. It's not creating the content directly, but it is enabling it. And when you're dealing with a company that's as protective as Disney, enabling might be enough to spark a lawsuit. And clearly it is. As designers, we're taught to influence, but we are also taught to credit and transform. And AI doesn't always do that. This lawsuit doesn't impact Disney or developers. It impacts all of us who create for a living. Clients may not know the difference between AI-generated Disney art and a legit design. We could see it. The problem is it's cheaper and faster, and it might replace junior-level design jobs. The legal fallout could either protect artists or over-regulate tools that we actually need. Honestly, it's a very weird time to be a designer, but I do have a fear that it might replace lower-level designers. The duality is very real. The best case? Clear guidelines emerge. AI tools become more ethical, and artists either get compensated or credited. The worst case? AI tools push back access. Or the lawsuit creates fear and confusion for freelance designers. Imagine being sued for showing an AI concept to your client because the tools that you use were pulled from copyrighted data and you didn't even know. So what can we actually do about all of this? Always disclose if AI tools were used in your work. Don't use prompts like in the style of, insert studio name here, unless it's public domain or clearly ethical. Support open source models that were trained ethically, and keep up with all the legal developments, especially if you're freelance or post your designs online. As creatives, we can't just wait and watch. We have to be part of the conversation. This lawsuit is just the beginning. Disney going after Midjourney signals a shift, and it's one that we all need to prepare for, because AI isn't inherently evil. Right now, it's just under-regulated. So I want to know in the comments, how do you feel about AI tools like Midjourney? Have you used them personally in any of your work? And where do you think that we should draw the line between inspiration and infringement? If you are a creative navigating AI and design, this channel is for you. I post videos just like this every single week. So hit that like button if this gave you something to think about, and subscribe for more content just like this. That's all I have for you for now. Bye bye!